All right, sir. This is Rabbi Wilhelm. He's an alcoholic. I know. This is not double A. It's not AA. This is a triple A. But I'm just trying to explain to you how his car got into the lake.
There's no resting time for you? There's no resting? What's so funny, Benzian? Benzian, I'm trying to hide. I came to rest. You know, this is the season whenever... Am I supposed to turn around? This is the season. This is the season when everybody's going on vacations and all that. Isn't that interesting that it's always in the proximity to Parshas, Mas'ai? It actually says in Magen Avram, it says that the 42 Masois that the Yidden had, when you read it in the Torah, you shouldn't be mafsik. It's one long journey. We're going from out of Eretz Yisrael to the Promised Land. And actually, it's brought from the Baal Shem Tov. Do I have to stand? Could you come around like a mensch?
I'm afraid of the alligators.
What was that noise? What was that noise?
That was an alligator.
It's brought in the Baal Shem Tov that what you read about the Membeis Masais, every Yid has to go through certain journeys in his life, parallel, which are somehow a mini Membeis Masais. So take that to heart. Now, halachically, people make this mistake. They say, okay, it's summer, it's vacation time. There's no vacation in Yiddishkeit. And actually, they attribute it to a statement Chazal say that, we know there's Chamisha Chumshe Torah, but according to some opinions, Vayhi ben Soya Ha'aron, Sefer B'fnei Atzmai. That's a parsha B'fnei Atzmai, because meaning to say, traveling is a whole other new set of rules. You have to be more and more careful when you travel to take life serious. And I'll tell you very practical advice. You go on vacation, make sure you daven with a minyan, make sure all the things are good. Now, done? No. Let's continue. So the Yidden in this week's parsha, B'nai Gad, B'nai Reuven, B'nai Gad, Chatzi Sheva, Menashe, they're going to the Promised Land. We want to stay here. You're going to give me a twist of the head. You keep me...
Exercise is good for you.
Okay. They want to stay. What's going on? And Moshe Rabbeinu seems to be very flimsy in his... First, he screams at them. And eventually, he gives in to them. What's going on? And what were they thinking? What's with the Promised Land? So, of course, according to Chassidus, the Rebbe turns it into that they actually wanted something very good. So much so that B'nai Menashe, according to the Rebbe, they were extra special. Because they only Chatzi Shev Menashe went into Eretz Yisrael, and Chatzi Shev Menashe stayed in the Chutz La'aretz. Why? Because they knew that right now we only have the rights to overpower the Sheva Amam, the 7 nations. So La'asa Lavei, we're going to have an extension of 3 more, the Keni, Kenizi, V'Kadmoni, right? So Sheva Menashe wanted that part. They wanted Geula Shlema right then and there. So they said, half of us will be in Eretz Yisrael with the Eretz Canaan, and the other part will have some of what's going to be in the future. But that was too fast. Now, Sheva done, the Baal HaTurim and the Mefarshim say, it's interesting, not done, they're good, that when it comes to complain to Moshe Rabbeinu, we want to stay here, it was Reuven and Gad. Why is Gad mentioned first that he's complaining? So many commentaries have explained this, but one of the commentaries say that the Shevet Gad, even though the initial reason, the Oprah reason was we have too many animals, we need the grass to graze, but they had a Hasidic reason too, and we see that in Parshas of Zoysa Bracha, they're mentioned as a blessing. What's the Hasidic reason? We want the place where Moshe Rabbeinu is buried. And Moshe Rabbeinu was not buried in Eretz Yisrael. So they hushed that part. They're saying, no, it's money, but it's really, they want to be Hasidic. They want to be next to the Rebbe. And they get credit for this. And the Pasuk mentions Vayar, and the Pasuk quotes that they saw what's hidden there. But nevertheless, every time you mention something spiritual and you connect it with something gashmis, you have to be totally in ruchnis. All your journeys has to be totally ruchnis. And okay, it's kidei to get stronger, to get more strength of a chulu. Well, one last thing. It says in Sfarim, one of the reasons that Bnei Gad and Bnei Ruvain didn't want to go into Eretz Yisrael is because they realized that their camping was together with Shevet Shimon, and they figured that if they go into Eretz Yisrael, they're gonna again be their lot will be next to Shevet Shimon, and they wanted no part of Shevet Shimon. They knew that Shevet Shimon had that story with Zimri, and the Nasi Shevet Shimon. They said, Eile Rasha, Eile Shchene. Just imagine, you're on one foot. Imagine they're willing to give up their land in Israel because they knew in Israel they're going to be around people that might have a bad influence on them. They'd rather stay in Chutz La'aretz. So each one of us, when we make our decisions where to go, when to go, and make all our trips and fun and games, where are you going? Fishing, hiking, what are you going? Biking, clubbing? So you make sure you go to a place that the environment is good for you, and good for you means spirituality. Even before, you might get cheaper price line anywhere. You want to go where there's a Chassidish minyan, kosher flesh, kosher milk, and then you have a healthy life.
Beautiful. Wow, it's so nice over here now. Wilhelm, how are we getting your car out of the lake?